Peace.
And this is an interview by the God Shamgod Allah. Peace, Shamgod.
Peace.
Okay. When did you get knowledge yourself, God?
Well, I first got introduced to knowledge, heard of knowledge, December of '64. There's a brother named Qasim from out of Mecca, up around 92nd Street, Amsterdam Avenue. He was telling us about, we just went up there, we were just some young crooks. We wasn't thinking about nothing like that, but he just hit it, me and my man, the vowel counts. He took on the name Walik, I had the name Dalu. But he was telling us about the teachings and whatnot. We just liked the damn shoes that they wore, Mecca boots and fatigues, pants and shit like that, and the bald heads. But we just wanted to be crooks. We didn't really start getting into what the teachings was about until we met this brother named Jihad and Ahmed. And they started hitting us with the actual teachings.
Ahmed from Mecca?
From Mecca, right. His name was Malik at the time. They started giving us, some teachings and whatnot. I was one learning so swift and fast. They said, look, man, we ain't got that much more to give. We got to turn you over to Cain, which was firstborn Cain. I don't even like the fact that they got that little funky ass goddamn tree in that fucking Son of Man. And they got names of people in there who went this place and who went that place to take the teachings. Cain came into the youth facilities as a youth, locked up like we was locked up. And he spreaded the motherfucking teaching by spreading the lessons. And everybody started getting on board that was in those institutions. And while they was in those institutions learning, because now this is the first time in their life, they have had the time to focus their mind on themselves as opposed to where they're going to get the next meal at, where they're going to live at. Now they got time to think about themselves. So now they had time to focus on something that pertained to black people. And this was done from this brother, Cain. I look at him as being the most instrumental person if they want to talk that firstborn shit. Because of what he did, the ramifications from what he did, the spread from what he did, saturated everywhere. Because in those institutions, you had people from all over the place in those youth facilities. And while we was in there, we learned. And we learned well. Because he made sure we learned well. He told me, he said, look, I'm giving it to you from out my head, the best I can. But if you get out, I want to go to 119th Street and 7th Avenue. That's where we meet at. He said, and see, at the time, Black Messiah's name was Kareem, and Yahur he spoke about. He said, I want you to go there. My grandmother had died, and they let me home for a visit. He said, I want you to go up there. So I went there, had my little, being from out of Brownsville, had my little 22 zip gun, the rubber bands and all that shit, and the car antenna, in my motherfucking waistband. So I got up there, Black Messiah gave me your Herb book. At that time, you had to write your lessons. I wrote them out. I don't think I maybe crossed a T or didn't dot an I or something in the student enrollment, but I wrote everything out. And Messiah looked at it after I finished and tore them up. And I jumped up and said, motherfucker, who the fuck you think you playing with? And pulled out my motherfucking little shit. They looked at me like, what you gonna do with that, motherfucker? And they started jumping in my motherfucking ass. You gonna shoot all us in here with that little one shot, motherfucker? Sit your motherfucking ass down and write these out. You don't make up nothing, nigga. You write it the way you see it. Now, it's the first time a motherfucker backed up off of me with a gun in my hand. And I sat back down and wrote. I wrote them so fucking long that because at that time, parliaments or rallies or whatever was happening was held the 25th of every month. Wisdom, Power, Data, Renewing Your History. I wrote them so long that next day, I knew everything that I wrote. And I was able to quote them off and got my name put in the book of good equality. And they said, when you're able to break them down, you come back. But I was mainly interested in getting them back to the institution so the brothers would have them right and exact. I brought them back. We was in Otisville State Training School. But prior to that, this is the year 66 I'm talking about. Prior to that, when we first got up there early in the latter part of 65, 66, we got a word that the father said that we were supposed to rise up and leave out those institutions June 6, 1966. Me and the brothers in there, we said, fuck it, we gonna do this. We gonna make these whiteys pay for what the fuck they was doing to us, because at the time, they didn't like us for the fact that we didn't eat no meat at that time. Kaim was telling us meat was death of the flesh. So we didn't eat no motherfucking meat. And they was trying to do everything to get us on that meat. And we was teaching strong. They didn't like us because we used to have like what you got in your head now, part in the middle of your head. It's called a wisdom part. And they didn't like that shit. We had a dentist up there who, if you got in this chair and you had a part in the middle, he wouldn't give you no Novocaine to do your teeth. And brothers used to brush their motherfucking part out the middle of their head. I was working in the barber shop. I took an outliner and made a highway down the middle of my motherfucking head that you couldn't brush out. I said, now fuck with my goddamn teeth. We're gonna see what the fuck we're gonna do here. I'll kill you and your fucking family. That man was shaking so motherfucking hard. Like, I said, don't shake. Don't fuck my shit up. He didn't fuck my shit up. But anyway, you know, we was doing our thing in there. They had this man there named Ben Graziano and Mr. Humana, who were area men in there. They was like the riot squad, everything going on in the street. And they used to like try to terrorize the brothers in there. Mm-hmm. So when we went off and did out that day, a group of us rose up, myself, a brother named Taha, Doc Watson, a brother named Dubar, another brother named Java. A few of us rose up in the cottage I was in, which was Wilson Hall, down. Some brothers from Johnson Hall, they stabbed up the person that was running their cottage. Kaim was in 107. They stayed, and we went off out into the community, the white people community, to do to their kids what the fuck they was doing to us. Now we went out there and we did our motherfucking thing. They caught us a couple of days later. And when they did call us, they brought us back to the institution. They decided now that they're gonna make what they call a hole, a segregation hole. First they handcuffed us to fucking radiators. Now we talking about the month of June. The bitches would turn the fucking radiator on. The radiator get hot, the metal goddamn handcuff get hot, burning your motherfucking wrists. So when they finally made the motherfucking holes, it was a cubicle, had a screen in the front so mosquitoes can get in there and bite your ass up. And had a little round hole in the middle of the floor where you had to shit and piss. And you had to wait for them on the outside to press it so it can flush down. But it can either flush down or flush up. And because it was us, they'd make it flush up, so we had to damn near lay in our feces and piss. And the brothers that was in other cottages knew that we was caught. Ray and them in particular, they was in 103 up and down. They decided, fuck this shit. They set the fucking institution on fire. It rattled them up. It was like you see them old movies of slave rebellions and they burning shit. That's how the fucking place was in a blaze. The people got so motherfucking fucked up that this man Ben Graziano, he went to Manawan to see the father. To this day, I don't know what the father said to that man. But when the father finished with that motherfucker, he came back. He let me and Java go back to the regular, back to our unit that we was in, which was Wilson Hall. But the other brothers, they sent them to other institutions because while they was down there, they ate the meat. They ate apples that the motherfucker smeared grease on. We wouldn't eat shit. So they sent them to Goshen, sent me and the brother back. Ben Graziano, from then on, every Wednesday, they let us have rallies there in a place called Darlington, which is the trailer, which they used to have visits. On the weekend, your visit come up, you have it in this trailer called Darlington. Every Wednesday, we used to have visits. Every Wednesday, we used to have all 5% in the institution would come there and meet. And that's where they would get the lessons. Ben Graziano, on those days that the institution had shit that wasn't right to eat, he would mainly come to my cottage. Now, he had a farm. He would bring like lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, shit like that there to the cottage I was in. Because that's where the most 5% was at. In that cottage. And we taught everybody, even the white boys. We taught them too so they can go out and teach other whites. We ain't know nothing about no damn Azrael. Or anything about the father teaching no whites. But we knew that we was going to teach everybody because we was all in the same fucking predicament.